going on, people? Your boy Kamon here, bringing you another deck profile. That's gonna be of my Watt Sprite deck. And yo, this deck is pretty fun. This deck is pretty fun. Now, this is like kind of the first build that I have for it, so I might update this. If I get like 50 likes, I'll definitely update this build for it. How about that? But you know what? Let's just get right into it. I'm gonna show you guys the main deck and the extra deck. No side deck because just kind of experimenting with it a little bit just to see how I like it. I used to play Watts like back in the freaking day, and gonna be honest, it was horrible, bro. Like it was either hopper lock or you lose. But now with this new support that came out, I think this deck is pretty cute, pretty fun too. And plus, like it's still essentially like a Sprite deck. Like you use the like Sprite engine in here essentially. So anyways, let's get right into it. So for the sprites, very small Sprite package, but for the monsters, it's just one Sprite blue, one Sprite red, one Sprite jet, and one Sprite carrot. That is it for these. We all know what the sprites do. If you control a level 2 and or a rank 2 or a Exceed monster of 2, pretty much anything with 2 in it, you can summon them from your hand. When you special summon, you can search out a Sprite monster from your deck, add to your hand, select yourself. This stops monster effects. This searches out Sprite, spell, and trap card, and this stops spell and trap cards. So you essentially use these for like a defensive-ish play, or like after you make like a really big board from like you stun your opponent, you summon these out, and then you make a bigger board or whatever, and then you just end right there. Best part about these, they're all thunder monsters, so you can still summon them for free essentially. So that's it for the sprites. If you want to play like a bigger Sprite package, you can, which essentially like you might as well just play sprites at that moment with like a Watt package, you know what I mean? But I think this is still pretty cool, gonna be honest. So now for the Watts, while you guys are here, one of the best Watts obviously is 3 Watt Cobra. So what Watt Cobra does, he can attack your opponent directly, right? When he does direct damage to your opponent, you can add 1 Watt monster from your deck to your hand, including himself. So yeah, like that doesn't sound crazy, but the reason why you want to play 3 of him is because of the new card, Watt Tuna, right? So how this card works, if this card is in your hand, if you're, I think it's your Watt monsters, it's your Watt or your monsters in general. Okay, I'm gonna read the card for you. This card can attack directly. You can only use each of the following the effect of Watt Tuna once per turn. At the end of the damage step, if your monster inflicted battle damage to your opponent, so you can special summon this card from your hand. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by direct attack, you contribute this card on the field and 1 other non-tuner monster to, from your hand and or field, or summon 1 Watt Synchro monster from your extra deck whose level equals, yeah. So essentially, what you do, this is just this card right here is a 1 card combo. You summon this into battle, attack directly for 1,000, effect, search out your Watt Tuna, effect summon to your field, attack directly again. Then effect synchro summon these 2 together to make your new Watt guy. So yeah, like he gets you into pretty decent and okay damage, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, so the reason why I think this deck is like decent is because of this card right here, which is Watt Giraffe. I've always thought this card is super clean and super cool. So Watt Giraffe is easily the best Watt card ever printed. This card is so good. So what it does, right? It can attack directly, right? And when it does damage to your opponent, until the end phase, your opponent cannot use monster effects, spells, and trap card, nothing. So if I summon this card, right? And then I hit you with this directly and it hits you, effect activates, boom, you can't do anything until the end phase. So I can summon 5 times and you can't nib me. You can't use effects. You can't do nothing. So essentially, this is how you win duels. You want to stun them out with your Watt Giraffe. You know what I mean? So most of your Watts can attack directly, essentially. At least these can. So yeah, yeah. Just I don't think you need 3. I think 2 is just fine, because you can get to this anytime you want to, essentially. So I think 2 Watt Giraffe is just fine, and you don't want to brick on it. It can't summon stuff from your hand. You have to hard summon it. or special it from your deck. But now for the level 2 engine for the Watts, we are playing 3 Watt Dragonfly. I'm playing 2 Watt Fox and the 1 Watt Lemur. These are your extenders, not extenders, but like this is how you kind of stall. So Watt Dragonfly is super good. When it's destroyed, you can summon a Watt monster from your deck. And that's not a hard once per turn. And the best part about it, even if this card doesn't hit graveyard, it still gets the effect. You know what I mean? Because it says if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, either by battle or card effect, must be 1 Watt monster from your deck. So for one, that's mandatory. So even if they have Shifter, this card still floats, if that makes sense. So 3 of him is level 2. The reason why you want to run 2, I run 2 Watt Fox because I only own 2 Watt Fox. And you only need 2. It's a tuner. And what Watt Fox does, if it is destroyed by a battle or card effect, your opponent cannot, they can't special summon? No, your opponent cannot summon a monster or activate spell and trap cards until the end of this turn, right? So if they're like attacking you and this card gets like popped or whatever, they're not summoning anything else until the end phase of this turn, and they're not using spell and trap cards until the end of this turn. So Watt Fox is pretty good with that. Now Watt Lemur, I believe, if this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, next turn your opponent cannot conduct their battle phase. So therefore, conducting and attacking is different. Like when it says they can't conduct their battle phase, they can't even like enter battle. You know what I mean? So like, I think this gets passed evenly. I think I could be wrong. But yeah, that's it for the Watts. Very, very, very small Sprite package, and then just the Watts are very self-explanatory. These are the best Watts in my opinion, especially obviously your Watt Giraffe. But yeah, that is it for the Watts. Are playing some hand traps. If you want to play Shifter, you can play Shifter in here. Shifter does not help this deck at all, but just putting in Droll because why not? Droll's a good card. But if you want to put Shifter, you can put Shifter. Not a big deal. For spells, I am running 3 Droplet, baby. Droplet in this deck is super good, super clutch. Like having your little guys actually be strong enough to. Oh, for one, you don't care how strong your opponent's stuff is because you're gonna attack directly regardless. But just getting rid of their stuff is super good too. Plus, like you want to go into your synchros too a lot, so which are all pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, just 3 Droplet. Let this card's back in the format. 3 Pot of Prosperity. This card does seem kind of this card does seem kind of redundant because you want to attack directly with these small monsters. But what you can do, you can attack directly first, then activate the stuff, then use this on your main phase too. I think this card is excellent here because you play like a lot of copies of the same card in your extra deck. So it's like, why not you utilize on that and get rid of it. So 3 Pot of Prosperity for consistency. The new card, so I am playing 3 Watt Kingdom and we are playing 3 Watt Train. This is the old card, this is the new card. I'm going to read off Watt Kingdom because this card is actually pretty good for this deck. It's not like this end all be all, but definitely helps out this deck tremendously in my opinion. So what it does, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters that are activated when it is normal summon special summon, while in the same column as this card or a Watt monster. So essentially, if you put this under the EMZ zone, your opponent summons a Link monster that activates on summon, or a Synchro monster that activates on summon, right? It's not going to activate. And again, if there's same thing for like a Watt monster in that column, right? And the other effect, which is actually pretty important, let's see, special summon. Okay, you can target 1 Watt monster you control, or summon 1 Watt monster with a different name from your deck. Then lose life points equal to the special summoned monster's attack. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except for thunder monsters. So essentially, what you want to do, you want to normal summon out your Watt Cobra, activate Kingdom, target your Cobra, summon out your Giraffe, and or vice versa. And then this is like really big damage. You want to attack directly with Giraffe first. So activate the effect so your opponent can't use anything. then you want to Watt Cobra, then you know what I mean? Like, that's how your combos get started, and that's how you kind of get more Watt monsters on your field. So your Watt Kingdom is definitely a 3 of in this deck. Now, Watt Train's been a minute, but add 1 Watt cards with different names from your deck to your hand, except Watt Train up to the number of Thunder monsters you control with different names during. So essentially, if you swarm your field with all of your sprites, like essentially you'll have like 3 sprites in the field, you'll get to add 3 Watt cards from your deck straight to your hand. You know what I mean? So that's what this card does. Pretty good. Also, during the main phase, turn sent to the graveyard, banish this card from your graveyard to summon as many Watt monsters as possible with different names from your hand. So essentially, like, you can fill up your hand and then you can summon them from your hand to the field. So this is definitely a 3 of. It has no real downside to it. So yeah. For the other spells, I am just running 2 spells. So 1 Sprite Starter and the 1 Sprite Smasher with the 1 Call by the Grave, because you want to get hit by anything. But yeah, these only sprites that I am running. I don't think you need 2 Sprite Starters. If you want to run more of a pure Sprite, yes, play it too. But for right now, playing this card at just 1 is just fine. Searchable, so is this. So yeah. For the traps, we are just running 3 Imperm and the 1 Sprite Double Cross, because you want to kind of interrupt your opponent at any given time. So it's like, why not? Just do it. That's it for the main deck. Solid 40 cards. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to mix in the like Thunder Dragon stuff in here, I think you can. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think this deck is pretty cute, pretty simple. You know what I mean? Extra deck time. Let's go into that really quick. So we are running 2 Watt Chimera. I do not have a 3rd one, but if I did, I'd still run them at 2. So what this card does is super cool. It can attack directly, and if it does damage to your opponent, you pluck a card out from their hand and put it back to the top of their deck. So it's essentially like mini talents. So it's like making your opponent draw the same useless card is really, 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 really good, bro. And yeah, so 2 Watt Chimera. We are running 3 Watt Hydra. You run 3 because you are playing the Pot of Prosperity. So what Hydra does, again, can attack directly, and then if it does, it's essentially a golden sarcophagus. So just 3 Watt Hydra. That's about it. Now for the new guy, I do not know how to say this, I'm going to be honest, but we are running 3 Kikui? Yes. 3 of this guy, and he's essentially pretty good, so I'm going to read his effect so you guys understand, because I'm still new to it. He can attack directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by direct attack, shuffle both 1 Watt Tuner from your graveyard and 1 face-up non-tuner Thunder monster you control into the deck, and if you do special summon 1 Watt Synchro monster from your extra deck, except this card. So essentially, attack, and you do a lot of stuff, and then you summon another Watt monster from your friend. I'm going to show you guys the like little cool combo, and then so you guys understand. So yeah, 3 of him, super cool. Now for the Exceeds, we are just running 2 Gigantic Sprite and the 1 Typhon, because nothing over here is over 3K, so Typhon is really good in here, so why not? Now for the links, we are running the 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 Sprite Spriggan, or the 1 Sprite Sprind, SP Little Knight, obviously, Unicorn, and the 1 White Lady, because why not? You know what I mean? Again, Little Knight's really good. It's 2, so you can make all kinds of stuff you want to do, and just Little Knight's Little Knight, bro. If you have the card, run in any deck you can. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys the super cool combo so you guys understand how this deck works, so BRB. Alright, so here's the cool combo. It just takes 1 Watt Cobra, literally, and this is how you get in a lot of damage. So you're going to normal summon out your Watt Cobra, enter battle, attack directly for 1,000, use his effect, you're going to search for your Watt Tuna. Watt Tuna effect going to trigger, summon out your Watt Tuna, attack for 800, effective Watt Tuna, so go summon these 2 together. These 2 make an 8. Gonna make your Watt guy here, forgot the name. So that's already 1,800 damage they took. Into battle, attack directly again for 1,600. Effect. Target out your Watt Tuna and this guy. Shuffle it back into the extra deck, into the main deck. And you can either summon out your Watt Hydra and or your Watt Chimera. So essentially, if your opponent has one card in hand, summon out your Watt Chimera, attack record for 14. They put it back, or if you want to do more damage, you know, your Watt Hydra. So that's essentially how the combo works from a 1-card combo. So with that, you took 1,816 and or 14 and or 15. So these two alone are 3K. So essentially with this one monster, your opponent will take 3,800 life points. So yeah. Hey man, hope you guys did enjoy this deck profile. Sorry it's kind of sloppy and kind of rushed, but wanted to get some down for you guys. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe to the video. See you guys next time, man. Have an awesome one. Peace.